Wow, today's sermon was so good. This is a hot take video on the sermon. Pastor Peter talked about how do you respond to God's will. And it's really funny because, we just went through James in student ministry, right? And so, man, it was just really good to be reminded of some of the things from James 4, but there were some specific things that either thoughts that I had as Pastor Peter was talking, or just some things he specifically said. One of the things I wrote down is, if the Lord wills isn't a magic phrase, it's a way of life, acknowledging God in every aspect of life. So kind of like how Proverbs 5 through 7 really talks about how that we need to commit our way to the Lord and acknowledging Him in all of our ways. So it's not just one of the things Laura told me afterwards, and I feel like this is the same for me, is it can be easy. We bring God into the beginning of our plan, almost like asking God to bless our plan, and then we take it and run with it versus walking with Him through each step of the process. So that was a little convicting. Verse 16, Pastor Peter was talking about the idea that all such boasting is evil. I put rebellious. It is rebelling against our good King. And man, I just wrote down a few notes, just what am I confident in? Am I making plans to be a good? Am I making plans to be a good steward of what God is giving me, or am I just doing my thing without really thinking about relying or committing my plans to the Lord? So those are some of the things I was thinking about there. Peter said, who is the original arrogant, godless boaster? Satan. So having the attitude of, this is what I want and this is what I'm going to get, is rebellious, and it is imitating Satan more than it is Jesus. And that's not a good way to live. I mean, right now we're looking for a house, right? And it is not helpful to go into it saying, I demand to have the right kind of house, or I will be getting this kind of house. It's been a real struggle for both of us. Just we're wanting something that's good, but it can just be easy to start demanding this thing, right? And so what I wrote down, the way of living that if the Lord wills, this is a mindset on the reality of who God is and what I'm called to do. So if God wills, it should be a way of life. It should be asking Him, is this the direction to go? It's kind of just walking alongside of Him throughout the whole process. I'm trying to figure out, am I still in step with Him? Or am I just kind of doing my own thing? Am I fighting? Am I resisting Him? And as Pastor Peter said, you don't really, God doesn't lose those matches, and it's way better for me to cooperate with a good and loving God. I love Pastor Peter's 5-step process: prepare with prayer, plan in pencil, pray for prosperity, perform your part. So we are supposed to do some things, and then praise Him for providence. And that last part, what Pastor Peter is talking about, the whole, I don't know if you guys use Google Docs. I use them all the time. I've been using them for years, and I'm very careful about who I let edit those docs. And a lot of times my default is you only can view, and you can't actually make any changes to the document. And I think that's just something I need to be thinking about more, is am I cooperating with God? Am I trying to block Him out? Am I even if I'm not trying, do I just ignore Him? Maybe it's not intentional, but I'm not intentionally letting Him guide me, letting Him lead me. Maybe that's a better way of saying it. am I letting God lead me or not? It's way better. Yeah, it's just way better if we cooperate. This was just such a really good sermon. So I just want to encourage you guys, if you haven't listened to it, listen to it. Go to the Grace Fellowship Instagram or YouTube. There's links. And yeah, man, it is so important to make sure that whether you're a graduating senior, whether you are a sixth grader, going into seventh grade, whatever stage of life you're in, it's really important to be bringing all of your life back to acknowledging God in all your ways, saying, man, if the Lord wills, like, just even if you don't verbally say that, having that attitude of like, all right, we'll see what happens. We'll see what the Lord has. But then just coming back to his character and his promises, because this is the thing I keep coming back to. If God is not trustworthy, this is a little scary. Him being in charge of everything is scary. But if he really is good, if he really is who he says he is and kind of what history has proven him to be, I can trust him. I can fully commit all my plans, all of my desires to him. And yeah, just see what he does. So, love you guys. Hope this is encouraging. And I'll talk to you later.